Welcome one, welcome all. Take a seat and rest for a while, for I am the Storyteller, a grand being of foreknowledge and understanding created by the great Game Master for your service. Until my contract runs out, that is. But we shall begin where all good things start, with a fabled meeting of a lifetime. We peer into the growing city of Trenlaw's Rest, where three separate pairs of friends are fated to meet. We begin at the northern side, just outside of the palisade wall, where a caravan has pulled up, called to the city in aid of its most recent event, the plague that has been spreading throughout its populace like wildfire. Blightskin is what they called it, and rightly so. This caravan contains our first pair, Kay and Vinny. Kay is a Morbin, or ratfolk, individual. Experimented on and escaped from his captors, Kay now works alongside Vinny guarding caravans, only with hopes to get money for food and drink, as well as any other needs he may desire going forward. Vinny, on the other hand, is more complex, a tiefling with ambitions to seek out his past, but using the caravan guard as a front while he prepares accordingly. Both are good at heart, really, if that good is a little odd. The others all began in an inn by the name of the Serving Giant, a large tavern or inn with plenty of room and a place where they were sent by the Plague Knights for separate reasons. The Plague Knights had recently set up in Trenlaw's Rest to oversee the city's recovery, and in the event that it couldn't, its purging. The first pair went there as it looked like a friendly place to stay while they were searching for work with a contact of theirs. This pair was Cat and Romulus. Hailing from the Beastlands in the north, Cat was a young but ingenious centaur girl, but she fled south with Romulus as a companion along the way. She is curious and a caring character, someone who proposed going out of their way for the people of Trenlaw's Rest. Romulus, on the other hand, is seeking power and strength from the ancient times to aid his quest, but his gentle heart doesn't stop him from wanting to help out. The other pair came here not long after them. Hailing from Paloon and Monolith, these two were in chase of a target, while wanting to venture far south in hopes of finding something of interest. These two are Damien and Lloyd. Damien is a knight, one of Paloon's ranks of horseback cavaliers, who are tasked with the protection of common folk and the lands surrounding. But an incident weighs in his heart and draws him away from his home. Lloyd is a curious one. Sketched with eyes over a bald head and wrapped in priestly attire, his visage would suggest a journeyman acolyte, yet his intentions are far more esoteric in nature. These two pairs met after being isolated here after an event in town, where a Corpse Ooze had attacked Damien and Lloyd. The two groups spoke, and both agreed to head to the hospice of the Winged Dancer, together to meet with their contacts and potentially help, while Vinny and Kay were doing just that as well. Outside of the hospice of the Winged Dancer, the party saw one another pulling up to its front, as one of the corpse haulers moved a body onto the back of the carry cart, where a Corpse Ooze was ready to strike from within the bloated form. It lunged at the hauler, and despite the dangerous situation, the group sprung into action, moving to protect the civilians and fend off this attack with the aid of the Plague Knights, keeping presence in the streets. A battle took place, and they came out victorious, with no civilian casualties. Pleasantries were had between the groups before heading inside and witnessing the spectacle of many a bed slab filled with the diseased and the dying. They each set out to help where they could, aiding the sick, contacting those for help, and being given a quest to seek out the source of both the disease and the Corpse Oozes. Their investigations started with the aim to get to the old sewer. Trying to collect the plans from the mayor and the construction guild, the party met with a demolitionist and blew a hole in the streets to access the storm siphon and the old sewer below. Delving into the gut of Trenlaw's Rest, the party discovered the Corpse Oozes and swarms of rats working in tandem with one another under the complete control of the Ooze Rat, who had been possessed by a small piece of black ichor. Such a foe was found getting high in an abandoned elven drug lab, once belonging to the Leafcutter gang. After vanquishing this foe, the party earned a well-deserved rest, before following the trail where the disease had originated from. The breadcrumb trail had started earlier in the day, before investigating the Corpse Oozes, where a young girl had been sighted outside of the walls playing games with those first infected weeks before. Such a coincidence was too sweet to pass up, and after successfully following Kay's nose, the party travelled towards what they didn't know at the time was a manor, the home of the Beverts family. Their investigations, however, were halted by a swarm of manor beetles, who after an intense battle nearly killed Kat, shaking her and her fear for insects. Regrouping and passing on such information to the Plague Knight commander, they gathered themselves and returned to the manor for another round, intent on finishing this duty. Upon arrival at the grand house of the Beverts family, they discovered their quarry, a young girl who was mourning the death of her mother in the rain. Yet, after a few games of hide-and-seek and speaking to the staff, the party realized that this young girl had fallen to the same fate as the household. That she, and all those within, were in fact ghosts. With the peaceful passing of most of the staff and inhabitants, the release of Christine Beverts from her curse, the party slew the curse, where it was holding its own, trapped within the corrupted item that Christine had worn on her head this entire time. Before returning to Trenlord's Rest, to proclaim their success and desire to continue to help those befallen by Blightskin. Now, some time has passed, a week in fact, and the party now move from their first meeting and quest onto a path that they forge. Heading south, meeting new people and dropping off a parcel at the Starside camp, our party looks for their next adventure and the unlocking of a story therein. Thank you for listening to this first installment of the Storytellers Recount of Campaign 2. We stream these regularly on Sundays over at my Twitch channel, and episodes go live here on YouTube at 2 PM GMT every Thursday, if you want to watch it later, of course. I hope you enjoyed this recount, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.